Hi guys, Bruce here. Well, this old Husqvarna has come back. They say it's not running, so we're going to have a little look at it. I worked on it about 3 years ago, so that's not bad. You know, I'd like to see them every year and then they'd all last a little longer. But here we go. We're just going to have a quick look at the fuel first. It's full. Okay, it looks like last year's gas. So before we finish up, we will replace it. Check the oil. Oh, it's right up there. Hardly, doesn't look like it's been used a lot. But a lot of people don't like these old side discharge mowers, eh? Just have a look inside the carburetor. Oh, air filter's loose. That's what the problem is. Because if this isn't sealing up right, it's going to suck dust in. So my suspicion is that it's going to fire when I prime it, but it won't pull gas from the gas tank. Because that doesn't even look that dirty for 3 years, right? It's on choke right now. It's got a manual choke on this one. Imagine that. So if it fires, that means that the engine will run by itself. It's got enough compression to run. It has enough spark. Blah, 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 right? So let's see if she goes. Choke her up. Try it again. Okay, so we know it's got a plugged carburetor because it's not drawing any fuel from the emulsion tube in the bowl. So before I get funky and clean the carb, we're going to just make sure the underside is ready to go so we don't have to do that again. Oh, it's not that bad. I'm tempted to take the blade off now and sharpen it. Yeah, I'm going to. Turn the mower back on its side so it doesn't spill any more fuel. And I'm just going to sharpen this blade. I'm just going to do this off camera. Alright, we'll sharpen it on camera. Alright, still on? Yes, so once I get sparks coming over the back of the blade from the sharpening, it's pretty sharp, then I just blunt it off, because a super sharp lawnmower blade, any rock will put a nick in the blade. But if you blunt it, if you look at any new blade from the store, they're just blunted a little bit to give them a little bit more toughness in when you start hitting rocks and stuff. Literally nothing. There, see, hardly any, there we go. So I'm just going to put the blade back on and we'll go to step 2. We've got a carburetor to clean. See you inside. Okay, let's get it on the lift. So let's get that carburetor off of there. Now we're going to have to pinch off this gas line so that we can get the carburetor off without having a flood. Thank you, Sean. Undo the gas clamp on the fuel line clamp. And away we go. You might see a little bit of gas come out. There we go. Now let's get that carburetor out of there. Now we are carb clean. So my guess is that there's been some stuff sucked into the Neyland seat on this one. Oh, okay guys, look at that. Let me just get a clean container. So that's why it wasn't running. That's one of the dirtiest ones I've seen. But he's brought it to me soon enough that I think we can work with it. See, this isn't just a bolt, eh? Okay, pliers. You with me? There we go. I wonder if the emulsion tube is plugged. Yes, almost. I'm going to take this gasket off before I wreck it. This is a pretty old lawnmower, actually. You don't see idle circuits like this much anymore. Okay, we'll see how far this is turned in. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Half, one and a half, two and a half turns out. don't think it needs to be that high, but it was probably me that set it there. It's a pretty plugged up old carburetor. But you saw how much junk we got out of it. Okay. Gloves off. Look at what that carb cleaner does to the gloves. Eh? So I'm going to just come back a little bit when I have this closer look at this carburetor. Alright guys, we have a pretty serious clog between what I call the idle circuit here and the 3 super tiny little holes right on the throat of the throttle body, and they're right there. 1, there's 3 of them, and there should be some carburetor spray going from into here and out of here, because you can see right here there's the path that it flows up to that Welch plug and then out on the other side to there, and then also as well down to that little secondary tube that's in the throat of the carburetor. So I'm going to try and just take this carburetor apart a little more. I'm going to take the throttle butterfly valve off. Like that. This should pull out. Oh, that should dump out. And then this should pull out like that. Okay, so we'll just leave that there. Now I'm going to try and clean that out. So with all of the goo that was in this carburetor, I'm sure some of it has settled in this fine orifice here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I think I got it. I've plugged the lower vent that's about the size of a 22 gauge wire. And I have just been working this, and it's taken almost a whole can of carb spray. And I really don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. But now there's flow between this circuit, idle circuit I call it, and coming out those 3 holes in the throat. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to take the camera down and turn it off and play it and see if you can. Now I'm going to put this butterfly back on the throat. There, perfect. Now I'm going to turn the idle down so that this butterfly gets flatter. And now I just have to get that screw in there. Just think of the guys that invented this stuff. How many hours they stood at a bench like this. Blows me away. So when you turn up the idle, all you're doing is opening that flap. Okay, do you see? There we go. We'll turn up the idle a lot. And you'll see the flaps open more and then turn down. And this one was at about 1/8 of an inch. And I think we got it. So I'm going to just reassemble this guy and we'll put it back on the lawnmower. Okay, you guys can witness this. I've got a jack on the other side. I'm going to try and pour most of the gas out of this lawnmower without putting it on the floor. You're all going, yay, he gets to spill some more fuel. I'm just curious to see how much crap is in here. Okay, I didn't spill a drop. You guys gotta be proud of me. Okay, let's lower it back down. That's pretty good. Well, there's always a little bit of sawdust in there. That's all right. A dead ant. Boy, that'd be a heck of a way to go, wouldn't it? All right, let's break this up. Even though I spill a lot of gas, I'm not a fan of having gas around. So here's our rebuilt little carburetor. Not rebuilt, cleaned. There is a new seal in carburetor bowl seal in here, and we're going to put this back together. Okay, guys, I just glanced at this fuel line the first time, and I did not pay close enough attention. It is rotten. So I've got two different thicknesses of fuel line here. One narrow and one thicker. And I think the thicker one is the winner. Alright guys, I worked so hard to get this carb clean that I'm going to just run a tiny bit of fuel through the gas tank and then through the little screen. Here we go. Pliers. That's all it takes. Yeah, I got a little bit of crap out of there.